Indeed, ma'am. I traversed half the town in search of it. I don't believe there's a cultivating library in Bath I hadn't been at.
And did you not get the reward of constancy?
No, indeed, ma'am.
Nor the fatal connection?
No, indeed, ma'am.
Nor the mistakes of the heart?
Ma'am, as ill luck would have it, Mr. Bowles and Mrs. Suki Saunter had just fetched it away.
Oh, well, what have you brought me?
Oh, here is the gaudy knot. Here is the pendery pickle. Here is the tears of sensibility and Humphrey Clinker. Here is the fatal mistakes of the heart. And here is a memoir of a lady of quality written by herself.
What are those?
Oh, well, this is only the whole duty of man, where I am. Press a few blondes, ma'am.
Very well. Give me the salve volatile.
Is it in a blue cover?
My smelling bottle, you simpleton.
Oh, the drops.
Lydia! Hold! There's someone coming. Quick, see who it is. Surely I heard my cousin Julia's voice.
Look, ma'am, here is Miss Melville.
Is it possible? No, my dearest Julia! How delighted am I! How unexpected was this happiness!
True, Lydia, and our pleasure is the greater. But what has been the matter? You were denied to me at first.
Oh, Julia, I have 1,000 things to tell you. But first, inform me what has conjured you to Barn. Is Sir Anthony here?
He is. We arrived within this hour, and I suppose he shall be here to wait on Mrs. Malaprop as soon as he is dressed.
Then, before we are interrupted, let me impart to you some of my distress. My letters have informed you of my whole connection with Beverley. But I have lost him, Julia. My aunt has discovered our intercourse by a note she intercepted. Has confined me ever since. Yet, would you believe it? She has absolutely fallen in love with a tall Irish baron she met one night since we've been here at Lady McShuff's.
Oh, you yes, Lydia!
No, upon my word. She really carries on a kind of correspondence with him. Under a feigned name, though, till she chooses to be known to him. But it is a Delia or a Celia, I assure you.
Then surely she is now more indulgent to her niece.
Oh, quite the contrary. Since she's discovered her own frailty, she's become more suspicious of mine. Then, I must inform you of another plague. That odious Akers is to be in Bath today, so that I protest I shall be teased out of all spirits.
Oh, come, Lydia, hope for the best. Sir Anthony shall use his interest with Mrs. Malaprop.
Oh, but you have not heard the worst. Unfortunately, I had quarrelled with my poor Beverley just before my aunt made the discovery, but I have not seen him since to make it up.
What was his offence?
Oh, nothing at all. But I don't know how it was. As long as we had been together, we had never had a quarrel. And somehow I thought he would never give me the opportunity. So, last Thursday, I wrote a letter to myself to inform myself that Beverley was, at the time, paying his addresses to another woman. I signed it, your friend unknown, showed him the letter, charged him with his falsehood, put myself into a violent passion, and vowed never to see him more.
And you let him depart so, and have not seen him since?
It was the next day my aunt found the matter out. I intended only to have teased him for 3 days and a half. I've lost him forever.
Oh, if he is as deserving and sincere as you have represented him to me, then surely he will never give you up so. Yet consider, Lydia, you tell me he is but an ensign, and you have 30,000 pounds.
But you know I lose most of my fortune if I marry without my aunt's consent, till of age. And that is what I have determined to do, ever since I knew the penalty. Nor could I love the man who would wish to wait a day for the alternative.
Nay, this is caprice.
What? Does Julia tax me with caprice? I thought her love of Faulkland had inured her to it.
I do not love even his
But
faults.
apropos, you have sent to him, I suppose.
Not yet, upon my word, nor has he the least idea of my being in Bath. Sir Anthony's resolution was so sudden I could not inform him of
Well,
it.
Julia, you are your own mistress, though under the protection of Sir Anthony. Yet, have you, for this long year, been a slave to the jealousy of this ungrateful Faulkland, who will ever delay assuming the right of a husband, while you suffer him to be equally as imperious as a lover.
Nay, you are wrong entirely. We were contracted before my father's death. That and some consequent embarrassments have delayed what I know to be my Faulkland's most ardent wish. He is too generous to trifle on such a point. And as for his character, you wrong him there too. No, Lydia, he is too proud, too noble to be jealous. If captious, 'tis without dissembling. If fretful, without rudeness. Unused to the fripperies of love, he is negligent of the little duties expected of a lover. But his affection is ardent and sincere, and as it engrosses his whole soul, he expects every thought and emotion of his mistress to move in unison with his. His temper, I must own, has cost me many unhappy hours, but I've learned to think myself his debtor for those imperfections which arise from the ardour of his attachment.
Well, I cannot blame you for defending him, but tell me candidly, Julia, had he never saved your life, do you think you would have been as attached to him as you are? Believe me, the rude blast that overset your boat was a prosperous gale of love to him.
Well, gratitude may have strengthened my attachment to Mr. Faulkland. I loved him before he had preserved me. Yet, surely that alone an obligation sufficient.
Obligation? Why, what a Spaniel would have done as much. Well, for my part, I should never think of giving my heart to a man just because he could swim.
Come, Lydia, you are too inconsiderate.
I do a joke!
Ma'am, Sir Anthony has just come home with your aunt.
I will not come here. Lucy, do you watch?
Yes, I must go. Sir Anthony does not know I am here, and if we meet, he shall detain me to show me the town. I'll take another opportunity of paying my respects to Mrs. Malaprop when she shall treat me, as long as she shall choose, with her words so ingeniously misapplied without being mispronounced.
Adieu, my dear Julia. Mwah! I'm sure you are in haste to send to Faulkland. There, through my room you'll find another staircase.
Adieu!
Here, my dear Lucy, hide these books. Quick, quick! Throw Peregrine Pickle under the toilet. Put Roger Random into the closet. Put the innocent adultery into the whole duty of man. There, now. Put a man of feeling into your pocket. So. Now, lay Mrs. Chapon inside and the Farsi sermons open on the table.
Oh, burn it, man. The paper's torn as far as proper
Oh,
pride.
never mind. Fling me Lord Chesterfield's letters. Now for him.
There, Sir Anthony, there sits the deliberate simpleton who wants to disgrace her family and lavish herself on a fellow not worth a shilling.
Madam, I thought you were...
You thought? Miss, I don't know any business you have to think at all. Thought does not become a young woman. But the point we would request of you is this, that you will forget this fellow, to illiterate him, I say, quite from your memory.
Oh, madam, our memories are independent of our wills. It's not so easy to forget.
But I say it is, miss. There's nothing on earth quite so easy as to forget if a person chooses to set about it. I am sure I forgot your poor dear uncle as if he never existed. And I thought it my duty to do so. And let me tell you, Lydia, these violent memories don't become a young woman.
Why, sure, she won't pretend to remember what she's ordered not. Aye, this comes of her reading.
What crime, madam, have I committed to be treated thus?
Now, don't attempt to extirpate yourself from the matter. You know I have proof controvertible of it. Oh, but, Lydia, will you promise to do as you're bid? Will you take a husband of your friend's choosing?
Madam, I must tell you plainly that had I no preferment for anyone else, the choice you have made would be my aversion.
What business have you missed with preference and aversion? They don't become a young woman. But you ought to know that as both always wear off, 'tis safest in matrimony to begin with a little aversion. I am sure I hated your poor dear uncle before marriage. Did you? You're sensible, miss. What have I by maid? And when it pleased heaven to release me from him, 'tis unknown what tears I shed. Oh,
by my words.
Take yourself to your room. You are fit company for nothing but your own ill humors.
Willingly, madam. I cannot change for the worse.
There's an intricate hussy for you.
It is not to be wondered at, ma'am. All this is the natural consequence of teaching girls to read. Had I $1,000 by heaven, I'd have sooner taught them the black art as their alphabet.
Hey, Sir Anthony, you're an absolute misanthropy.
In my way hither, Mrs. Malaprop, I observed your niece's maid coming forth from a circulating library. She had a book in each hand. They were half-bound volumes with marble covers. At that moment, I should have guessed how full of duty I should see her mistress.
Those are vile places indeed.
Now, Mrs. Malaprop, in moderation, what would you have a woman know?
Observe me, Sir Anthony. I would by no means wish any daughter of mine to be a progeny of learning. I don't think so much learning becomes a young woman. But I would have her sent at 9 years of age to a boarding school, where she might learn some ingenuity and artifice, so that she may have a supercilious knowledge in accounts. And as she grew older, I'd have her instructed in geometry, that she might know something of the contagious countries. But above all, Sir Anthony, I would have her mistress of her orthodoxy, that she might not misspell and mispronounce words so shamefully as girls usually do. And likewise, she might reprehend the true meaning of what she is saying. That, Sir Anthony, is what I would have a woman know, and I don't think there is a superstitious article in it.
Well, Mrs. Malaprop, I shall argue the point no further with you. Though I must say that you are a most moderate and polite arguer, for almost every third word you said was on my side of the question. Now, Mrs. Malaprop, to the more important point in debate. You say you have no objection to my proposal?
None, I assure you. Perhaps your son may have better success.
I shall write for the boy directly. He knows not a syllable of the plan so far, though I have for some time had the proposal in my head. He is at present with his regiment.
We have never seen your son, Sir Anthony. I do hope there is no objection on his side.
Objection? Let him object if he dares. No, Jack knows that the least demur puts me in a frenzy directly. In their younger days, my process was always very simple. 'Twas, Jack, do this. If he demurred, I knocked him down. And if he grumbled, I sent him out of the room.
Aye, and the properest way. My conscience, there's nothing so conciliating to young people as severity. Well, Sir Anthony, I shall give Mr. Akers his discharge and prepare Lydia to receive your son's invocations.
Madam, I will handle the subject prudently. Well, I must leave you, and let me beg you, Mrs. Malaprop, to enforce the matter roundly with the girl. Keep a tight hand, and if she rejects this proposal, keep her under lock and key. And if you were just to let the servants forget to bring her dinner for 3 or 4 days, you can't conceive how she'll come about.
Well, I shall be glad to get her out from under my intuition at any rate. She has somehow discovered my partiality for Sir Lucius O'Trigger. Sure, Lucy couldn't have betrayed me. No, the girl's such a simpleton, I should make her confess it herself. Lucy! Lucy! Had she been one of your artificial ones, I should have never trusted her.
Did you call, ma'am?
Yes, girl. Did you happen to see Sir Lucius while you was out?
Oh, no, indeed, ma'am. Not a glimpse of him.
Now, you are sure, Lucy, that you never met...
Oh, Gemini! I'd sooner cut my own tongue out.
Well, don't let your simplicity be imposed upon.
Oh, no, indeed, ma'am.
Well, come to me present, Lucy, and I'll give you another letter. But mind, if ever you betray what you are entrusted with, unless it be other people's secrets to me, you forfeit my malevolence forever. And your being a simpleton shall be no excuse for your locality.
So, my dear Simplicity, let me give you a little respite. Let girls in my station be as fond as they please at appearing expert. Command me to a mask of silliness. with a pair of sharp eyes with my own interest under it. Let us see what my dear Simplicity has for us lately. For habiting Miss Lydia Languish in a design of running away with an aim sign. In money, Sundry Times, £12.12, gowns 5, hats, ruffles, caps, etc., numberless. From the said aim sign within the last month, 6 guineas and a half, about a quarter's pay. Item from Mrs. Malaprop for betraying the young people to her. When I found matters were likely to be discovered, 2 guineas and a black Bedoy soy. Item from Mr. Akers for carrying diver letters, which I never delivered. 2 guineas and a pair of buckles. Item from Sir Lucius O'Trigger. 3 crowns, 2 gold pocket pieces, and a silver snuff box. Well done, Simplicity. However, I was forced to make Sir Lucius believe that he was corresponding not with the aunt, but with the niece. For, not overly rich, I feared he had too much pride and delicacy in the politeness of a gentleman to the true necessities of his fortune.